So, why does third party all make the same thing? And to be clear, what inspired this video was a comment I got on a video I did called the Ultra Wars, where all the different variations of Ultra Instinct, or not variations I should say, but all the different companies that are doing an Ultra Instinct Goku or a kit for Ultra Instinct Goku or something to that effect. And I saw a comment that said, yo, why does nobody, like, do we really need this many companies doing Ultra Instinct Goku? And that applies to other stuff as well, such as Vegito. Like, we're getting so much Vegito stuff that it's not even funny. And on the screen, I'll probably have it on the screen at this point in time, but like, some of the stuff is like really niche. So at a certain point, it seems as if, you know, the third party companies are copying each other. And I think there's a couple reasons for the reasons why we get the same characters over and over. Like, we get a lot of Goku stuff from third party. We might get a lot of Gohan stuff. Well, particularly more Gohan Beast stuff. We've gotten some Vegeta stuff. But to answer that question, really it's because, first thing first, Saiyans sell. Saiyans will always sell. Saiyans is like the mascot of the series. Bet money. Whenever Dragon Ball gets started back up, or Dragon Ball Super gets started back up, and we get a brand new Saiyan, or if we visit Universe 6 and we see all these brand new Saiyans, and it's gonna go crazy. You know why? Because Saiyans mean potentially a new form, especially how things are going now, where, you know, all the Saiyans, or at least all the major Saiyans, have a state where it's unique to them, or maybe not that it's unique to them genetically, but that they have something that only they trained to obtain. So, you know, see Ultra Ego, see Ultra Instinct, right? But Saiyans sell. So Goku, everybody has a Goku figure, so, you know, just make a head sculpt for it and call it a day, right? It's easy, especially something, and then also consider what's being released at that point in time. So for example, right, recently we had that general release for Super Saiyan God after having it as an exclusive for what? The first exclusive was like a web exclusive, the second one was SDCC, 2021, and then what is this? I feel like there's another exclusive one that came out after that. Or maybe I'm bugging. Maybe it was just that general release that just recently came out. But the point being is this. They released Super Saiyan God as a general release, and then we have two third-party companies that make head sculpts for Super Saiyan God. And they're just capitalizing off of that general release. All you got to do is a head sculpt. That's easy to produce. And the return that you're going to get in terms of your money is probably going to be pretty high. Right? So I would say it's also dependent on what Tamashii may be doing, or what any company may be doing. So for example, next example I'm going to use is the Vegito head sculpts. There's 3 different third-party companies doing Vegito head sculpts, all different styles, and that's another thing. You know, there's all different styles, and people like variety. People choose which ones they want, and, you know, they go with that. But particularly with the Vegitos, in the very least, they're not necessarily playing off of a recent Vegito release from Official at the very least. However, recently, of course, we have the Beast Deities Vegitos that were released, and some of the third parties are playing off of that. And then on top of that, we have hype from video games like Spark and Zero. My good man Cyrus put me onto that particular theory, where Spark and Zero has a lot of hype in itself, and, you know, with that trailer, the Fusions trailer, Vegito and Gogeta were definitely prominent characters in that trailer. Well, then somebody could ask, well, why not a bunch of Gogeta stuff? Well, the original Gogeta figure that Tamashii had released was released a little while ago, and I think it's becoming, you know, a bit more expensive now to just produce stuff for that. And they do have a head sculpt floating around, third-party head sculpt for that, but that's just one third party. But also, nobody wants to get slapped into the dirt by not being able to compete with a brand new sculpt that Tamashii may come up with for like a character like Gogeta, which is another thing, right? These third party companies are not exactly trying to come up with full figure brand new sculpts. That's why we don't see more like something like Janemba, because chances are any sculpt that a third party puts out in regards to, for example, a Janemba will probably, as my good man Cyrus says, get slapped into the dirt by whatever Tamashii puts out. Now, I do agree that it would be nice to get more than just, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan. It would be nice. And to Taunton's credit, Taunton has stepped out, of that box and made a Kid Buu. But I would say Taunton is more of a anomaly rather than the rule. Everybody else is just kind of playing it safe. And can't necessarily blame them for that, because playing it safe is getting them the money, right? Real quick, I would like to go back to the term of being slapped into the dirt by the official release. I want to take y'all back to, I don't know how many of y'all been collecting this long, but because I always know there's a lot of new collectors, but if you guys remember, and if you guys know about Demoniacal Fit, they released their Ginyu Force Ginyu, right? And like a year later, Tamashii released their Ginyu, and that Tamashii release made the DF release look bad. It made that figure look horrible. And that's what I mean by getting slapped into the dirt. That figure got body slammed into the dirt. And third parties don't necessarily want that to happen, especially with these characters that have unique sculpts. They could probably get away with something like that with like a Goku figure. They could, third party can take the 3.0 mold or what have you, and they can take it and update it or make tweaks to it to make a very good Goku. But when it comes to just building a figure from the ground up and making that brand new sculpt, I don't think that third party really wants to compete with Tamashii in that. And to be honest, for the most part, with the exception of Taunton, I don't think a lot of the third parties could really compete in that capacity. Maybe they can, because ultimately we don't know until somebody tries. The only person that's really tried, or the only company that's really tried, has been Taunton with the Kid Buu, and that Kid Buu looks phenomenal, right? But I would say where Tamashii shines, and this is going back into, a third party making the same thing, the main Saiyan characters, which sell very well, is where Tamashii shines is actually not the main characters, but their villain characters. Their villain characters always look on point. And so when they say, for example, when somebody says, hey, can they do something besides, Saiyans, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks? Well, they can, but I'm doubtful that they're gonna. The Tamashii thing is probably, the Tamashii release is most likely gonna be superior, because that's where Tamashii shines. See second form Frieza, right? See third form Frieza. Even that's not a good example, because that release was kind of meh. But see a character like Jiren, that's well done. He might not be the most well-received character, but that figure was well done. See Kui is a very well-done figure for who he is. Well, see the final 100% form Frieza, and wait till Perfect Cell comes out. It's gonna go crazy. So these villain characters, or these characters that are gonna be like one-off, King Cold, right? Notice like all the one-off characters that Tamashii does come out immaculate. Now sometimes the articulation could be a bit better, but in terms of aesthetic, they be on point. And so, rather than, I would say, taking that risk and getting slapped into the dirt by Tamashii, but also not necessarily wanting to put all that money into a new sculpt and mold and everything from the ground up, just basically do what works, which is Saiyans, But with all that being said, that's all I have to say about that, unless I think of something else. But until next time, this has been Bombastic Plastic, quick little discussion video. Stay fantastic.